Okay guys, so today we're going to look at setting up the file structure for our class. We're going to build a folder basically in Documents, and then that's where we'll store our projects and all of the required media for those projects. And then we're going to make a little adjustment to our development environment. We're going to kind of change the way our programs look. So let's go ahead first of all and get started with our folder creation. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is open up Windows File Explorer. That's the yellow folder down here. And we're going to go into the Documents folder. That's going to be where we keep things. Inside here, we're going to create a new folder. There are several ways to do that. You can click this icon up here. You can right-click down here somewhere and go to New, and then Folder. And we're going to call that C# Visual Studio. So that's the name you want to call it, C# Visual Studio. Inside there, we're going to create a series of folders for each week. So new folder, week 1. And let's go ahead and add a little bit to that. Let's go ahead and say week 1 introduction. Needless to say, my computer's not cooperating with me. Are you seeing this? Because really it's annoying. Okay, so week 1, introduction. Week 2, basic syntax. All right, and let's see. And we're going to say week 3, methods and functions. Wow, that's annoying. Okay, and that's enough for right now. You get the idea. As we go along, we're going to create week 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8. These may not be exactly weeks. In fact, we'll probably get 2 weeks in each of these folders, but regardless, you get the idea. So to recap, inside our Documents folder, we're going to create a folder called C# Visual Studio. Inside there, we're going to create a series of folders: week 1, introduction; week 2, basic syntax; week 3, methods and functions; week 4, week 5, and so on. So that's essentially how the class will be organized. So there's one other little piece of housekeeping we need to do. We're going to create another console application. And so let's go ahead and go into Visual Studio. If you haven't launched it already, we're going to go ahead and click on that, and we're going to create a new project. And once again, we're going to use the console, C# console app. We're going to use that pattern. But now we are going to do some different things here. We're going to call this one Housekeeping. We're going to put it into our first week folder. So we need to go to Documents, C# Visual Studio, week 1 introduction. And here we're going to create a folder called Housekeeping. If we can, having a little computer issue here today. Inside that folder, we're going to select it. That's where we're going to keep this. Now, we want to make sure this is checked. Place solution and project in the same directory. We're going to go next. And then this is what's important. We're going to use still.NET long-term support, but we're going to check do not use top-level statements. This is going to go back to the older way of writing code that shows the class structure in the code, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. If we don't check this, then all we're going to get is one single line of code and an HTML link at the top of our template, and we don't want that. We want to actually see how the classes are set up. We want to see how the namespaces are set up. We don't want to take that shortcut, because this shortcut puts all that information in. It just doesn't let you see it. So we want to go a little deeper into the code. We want to make sure that this says do not use top-level statements, and then we're going to hit create. And it'll create our project for us. And when it does, this is what we have. Now, you'll notice this is very different from the code in the template we got yesterday. Yesterday, we had this link up here, and then we had one line of code that just said console.writeLine. Okay, all of this code was in our program yesterday. It was just hidden. That's a shortcut that Visual Studio will let you take. However, it's not a good programming practice for new programmers. We want to see our namespace because we're going to be using namespace. We're going to be modifying it. You can't do that when it is hidden like it was. We also want to see our internal, we want to see our class name, which is program in this case. This will be the main entry point. And for a C# program, as we will learn, you have to have a main entry point and a main method called static void main with string and args as the parameters. Then we can put our code in, console.writeLine hello world. Now, if we run it, it does exactly the same thing. There's no difference at all in the way that it runs. If we click run, we're going to get a console window, and it's going to say hello world. And there it is, hello world. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this. Just hit a key. So now, that is how we want to set up our code from now on. Anytime we make a new project, we're going to make sure that that do not use top lines box is checked. So that will allow us to see the namespace and class structure that we may have to modify. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Sometimes Visual Studio will let you take shortcuts, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's not. In our next lesson, we're going to go through and look at the different parts of the interface. We'll look at the coding area and the console area, the terminal area, and the file solution explorer. And so go ahead and go through this exercise. There's not really anything to turn in, but we will start turning in code on our next assignment. So have a good day. If you have any questions, I can be reached through the Canvas inbox. Just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them.